Stop trying to be perfect. It's literally making you sick. Dr. Daniel Amen identifies perfectionism not as a personality trait, but as a toxic infection that steals your happiness and sets your brain up for failure. I've watched this need to be best trigger a chronic fight or flight response that destroys brain reserve and drives chronic disease. If you feel like you're never good enough, you aren't failing. Your brain is just stuck in a dangerous loop, and I'm going to show you how to shift gears. As a holistic health coach, I've seen people who do everything right, the organic diet, the intense workouts, the perfect supplement stack, yet they still feel exhausted, inflamed, and biologically older than they should be. What we often miss is that the most dangerous toxin isn't in our food. It's the toxic perfectionism happening right between our ears. According to the groundbreaking work of Dr. Daniel Amen, perfectionism isn't a badge of honor or a drive for excellence. It is a destructive habit that physically infects your mind and steals your happiness, setting you up for a physiological downward spiral of failure, anxiety, and depression. When we look at the brain through Dr. Amen's lens, specifically using SPECT imaging, we can see exactly why this happens. Perfectionism causes a literal sticking in the frontal lobes, particularly in an area called the anterior cingulate gyrus. Think of this part of your brain as the gear shifter. In a healthy brain, you make a mistake, you learn, and you shift gears to the next task. But in a perfectionist's brain, that shifter is jammed in the on position. You become hyper-focused on every tiny error, ruminating on what went wrong until your brain is overheated. This isn't just a mental quirk, it keeps your entire body locked in a state of chronic stress. This perpetual fight or flight mode drains what Dr. Amen calls your brain reserve, the extra cushion of energy your brain needs to handle life's curveballs. When that reserve is gone, you are left vulnerable. This constant internal pressure is a disaster for your metabolic health because it floods your system with cortisol, driving up inflammation and accelerating the very chronic diseases we are trying so hard to prevent. There is a profound connection between the mind and the body that many overlook. Many chronic pain sufferers have a very specific personality, characterized by a deep-seated desire to be perfect and an overwhelming need to please others. The constant, relentless pressure to be perfect and to keep everyone else happy creates an enormous amount of emotional tension. Over time, that internal tension has to go somewhere, and it often manifests as physical pain. You aren't just stressed, your body is literally physically reacting to the weight of your own expectations. The most heartbreaking part is what Dr. Amen calls the doom loop. It's a cycle where the unreachable standard of being perfect leaves you feeling like you're never good enough, which eventually leads to unhealthy coping mechanisms like emotional overeating or social withdrawal, just to numb the stress. As a holistic practitioner, I want you to understand that your cells are literally listening to these thoughts. You cannot heal a body that you are constantly guilt-beating into submission. If you want to truly slow down the aging process and reclaim your vitality, the most pro-health thing you can do today is trade perfection for imperfect consistency. When you lower the pressure, your cortisol drops, your brain finally has the energy to shift into repair mode, and your body finally feels safe enough to thrive. To trade perfection for imperfect consistency, we have to shift the brain from all or nothing thinking to always something momentum. Here are 5 practical ways to make that shift. 1. Apply the B- rule. Perfectionists often feel that anything less than 100% is a failure. In holistic health, a consistent 80% effort, a B-, is infinitely more effective than a 100% effort that lasts only 2 weeks. The practice, give yourself permission to hit a B- on your health goals on busy days. If you can't do a 60-minute workout, do 15 minutes. If you can't cook a gourmet organic meal, have rotisserie chicken and a bagged salad. The brain benefit, This prevents the anterior cingulate from getting stuck on the idea of failure, keeping your momentum alive. 2. Use the 2-minute entry point. The hardest part of consistency is starting. Perfectionism makes the mountain look too high to climb, so we often don't even lace up our shoes. The practice, scale your habits down until they take less than 2 minutes. Instead of, I must meditate for 20 minutes perfectly, make the goal, I will sit on the cushion and take 9 deep breaths. The brain benefit, you are training your brain to identify as someone who shows up, which builds brain reserve by lowering the initial stress of the task. 3. Practice ant killing, automatic negative thoughts. Dr. Amen teaches that perfectionism is fueled by the fortune teller or guilt-beating ants. These thoughts tell you that if today wasn't perfect, tomorrow is already ruined. The practice, when you hear the thought, I ruined my diet with that cookie, immediately talk back to it. Say, that was one choice, my next choice will be better. The brain benefit, this physically shifts the activity in your prefrontal cortex, moving you out of the doom loop and back into a state of control. 4. Celebrate the non-scale victories. Perfectionists usually only celebrate the final result, like losing 20 pounds or a perfect blood panel. This starves the brain of dopamine during the long middle journey. The practice, reward yourself for the act of showing up, regardless of the outcome. Celebrate that you went to bed on time or chose water over soda, even if the rest of the day was chaotic. The brain benefit, dopamine is the fuel for consistency. By celebrating small wins, you're chemically greasing the wheels for your brain to want to repeat the healthy behavior tomorrow. 5. Schedule reset points, the 4-hour rule. A perfectionist thinks a bad morning ruins the whole day. A consistent person knows that every 4 hours is a fresh start. The practice, divide your day into 4 blocks: morning, midday, afternoon, and evening. If you fail your goals in the morning block, don't wait until tomorrow to start over. Reset immediately at the start of the next block. The brain benefit, this breaks the cycle of chronic stress and fight or flight by providing frequent opportunities for the nervous system to calm down and try again. If you've been trapped in the all or nothing cycle, I want you to hear this clearly. Your body is not a machine to be perfected. It is a living, breathing system that requires a sense of safety to truly repair itself. When you choose imperfect consistency over the heavy weight of toxic perfectionism, you aren't lowering your standards. You are finally giving your brain the reserve it needs to thrive for decades to come. I challenge you to find one area in the next 24 hours where you've been guilt-beating yourself and intentionally apply the B- rule. Whether it's a shorter workout or a good enough meal, notice how your nervous system exhales when you stop demanding the impossible. You'll likely find that your energy stabilizes and your mood lifts the moment your health feels like a gift rather than a chore. Stop waiting for a perfect version of yourself to appear before you start living. The most vibrant version of you starts the moment you give yourself permission to be human. If you see this video helpful, hit the like button. It helps this message reach more people who need it, and subscribe to join our holistic health community. My mission is to help you live a life full of vitality and free from chronic diseases. Thank you for watching, and remember, your health is a practice, not a destination. I'll see you in the next video.